Rich Ortiz here with the fighter's voice, the only voice that matters. You have that fighter on you right now. You have that. Talk about Mexican Independence Day. We can call this Teddy Atlas here in Las Vegas, Nevada. You heard it from the champ himself, simply knocking out the competition. Not Rich Ortiz here with the fighter's voice, the only voice that matters. And like Eddie
Lopez, because Josh Taylor is
the 4th division world champion, Mikey Gar. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Richard Ortiz of the Fighter's Voice, the only voice that matters. And I'm like our guest today, Bill Haney. We're simply knocking out the competition. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce our guest, who is possibly both at one time a candidate for Trainer of the Year, a candidate for Fighter of the Year, and wouldn't it be great to end 2023 with Father and Son of the Year? Ladies and gentlemen, a big congratulations to Bill Haney winning the WBC bout last Saturday against Regis Prograis. Welcome to the Fighter's Voice, Bill.
Hey, absolutely, man. Shout out to the Fighter's Voice, man, and shout out to everyone that's continued to pushing this boxing thing forward that we're so passionate about. Thank you for having me.
Bill, you know, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. And I know I've been trying to lock you down for some time now, but you've just been busy. You've been out there grinding. You've been in the middle of rematches, negotiating. And I'm going to cut right to it. A lot of stuff that goes on, not just because you're on the show, Bill, you're not getting credit for. A lot of people are overlooking that you're not just a trainer. You got to hold it together as a father, and you're holding it together as a manager, making sure those numbers are just right. What's it like in a life of Bill Haney?
Well, I mean, of course, I'm a father to two young kids that need a dad more than you know what I mean, more than say Devin, who's a grown man and happens to be one of my best friends as well, you know, and business partners. So the hat of a father, you know, although it's always there for him. But you know, a lot of our situations are business, or it's, you know, coaching, or it's something advice, some kind of advice, manly advice versus dad advice sometimes with him. So, you know, I do wear a lot of hats, but you know, I'm the happiest guy in the world. You know what I mean? And you know, to have the kind of year that we've had, and to have Saturday night be somewhat so magical, bro, it's just, you know, it's surreal.
You know, the Bible says, call things as if they're not as if they are. Not only did you prophesy exactly what was going on, you spoke it into existence. Did you ever think throughout it all that you would sell out San Francisco, California, your hometown?
You know what? Shout out to the Bay. You know, Oakland, San Francisco, Richmond, Vallejo. I mean, we had I met people that came from Merced and Stockton, and just the surrounding areas, and you know, all around the country and world. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was a family affair, is what I like to call it. Just a melting pot of ethnicity that really represents our culture in the Bay. You know what I mean? And just us in general as a team. You know what I mean? You know, there are a lot of different faces and personalities that represent our team. And I'm just so happy that we came across with a victory. It was a plan, a team plan effort, you know, both with Matchroom and Eddie and DHP, you know, and of course, you know, shout out to Rougarou and his team, because, you know, they showed up, and they you know, they sold the fight as well. You know what I mean? And I really know that they were sincere. They came up short to a better man, a special fighter in Devin, but I don't take anything away from the Rougarou and his team, and I believe that he'll be bouncing back.
I truly believe that too. I talked to Regis after the fight, and he seemed to be in good spirits, but at the same time, I can feel the disappointment as well. And some of his team members that knew you were going to be on the show, they had nothing but respectful words to say, and said also, "Hey, give the Haney family our best."
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Listen, that team over there, you know, they're tough as nails. You know what I mean, and they're loyal to each other. You know what I mean, and you know, it's almost even hard not to like the big dummy. After all, you know what I mean? He's you know, listen. I've grown to miss the big dummy. You know what I mean? We were going back and forth every day for quite some time. You know what I mean? And then to hear him come out and say some nice words, yeah, almost, I almost want to just call him Coach. Coach, what's his name? Because I can't remember his name. I called him Big Dummy so many times, but it was no slight to him. He's a heck of a person and a human being, man. Because the way he's handled and conducted himself after. So shout out to the track coach as well, and I'll be referring to him as track coach from here on out.
Oh, there you go. Very nothing but respect, and
Absolutely.
you've always showed class act.
Coach Tobler. I couldn't think of his name, but Coach Tobler.
Okay,
To, yeah,
there you go.
to make it,
There you go.
to put a period on it. You know what I mean? It was it was one of those. It was one of those things. We went back and forth. We fought it out on Saturday night, but we definitely, can find good sportsmanship and burying the hatchet until or if ever we meet again in that square circle.
Hey, it sounds good to always say until next time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now listen, let's break it down from the very beginning, from the amateur days to his first professional fights. You guys had a plan all along. And one thing I do got to hand to you, because a lot of fathers, they like rushing their fighters, their children, and you took your time. Every move was precise. Every move was thought out. It wasn't just random. Okay, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. The layout was there. The blueprint was there. And you watched every single thing coming in. And as a father, training manager, you filtered out what you needed to filter out. Is it safe to say you're exactly where you want to be today as you prophesied it before?
Well, no, it's always alhamdulillah, and you know what I mean. And the more that I draw and grow closer to my faith, I understand that it was all by Allah's permission, and we also have a responsibility, heavy as the head that wears the crown. That of course we've been allowed to be successful and attain some worldly things, but we also have a responsibility to let the people know that it's God. It was in God's hands. A lot of it. You know what I mean? Like we worked really, really hard. We believed in ourselves. We believed in what we were walking in our faith and walking in our destiny. And a lot of things happened that you just can just say, thank Allah. So yeah. I can't say that I prophesied each particular move, but one thing that I can say is that we were ready, and we were ready to adjust at any stage based on the ultimate goal is for Devin to be on the Mount Rushmore of boxing, be remembered as one of the all-time greats, if not the greatest. So that's our goal, right? And within that, a lot of things happen along the way, and it could be a trying time, right? We look at it and say, well, the greats went through that too. They called Floyd brittle hands, and they called Devin pillow hands. Pillow hands. They said Floyd was boring. They said Devin was boring. They said that Devin, the defense, it's all defense and no offense, or it was just a lot of different things that are described towards Floyd. There was similarities of what we went through. You know what I mean? That we couldn't sell. They said we couldn't sell out an arena, and Devin did that. So he, pay-per-view. No one would buy the pay-per-views or whatever. So it's just slowly, and I don't put that as we've accomplished what Floyd has accomplished, and I think people misunderstand that. What I'm saying is that we've accomplished a whole lot, and we have milestones that we've accomplished at a young age of 25.
Just turned 25 too,
Yes.
correct? I mean,
Yes.
yeah, from my understanding. Now, listen, the accomplished that you guys have already accomplished at the age of 25. I've always described Devin as a modern day Terry Norris. I said he reminds me of a modern day Terry Norris. After Saturday, Devin Haney is a modern day Devin Haney. So he's earned that. But just to be mentioned in the names of terrible Terry Norris, he just to
Yeah,
remind me, boxer,
yeah.
puncher, slick with
Oh, I
power,
know, I know. Oh,
jab,
I know.
stick, everything.
I'm very familiar with Terry Norris, and to say that what you said, on the fighter's voice, Devin being the first Devin, and Devin being that's what he works to be. You know what I'm saying? That's what I know. If he could
Absolutely.
hear that, that would make him smile, and it makes me proud to hear that. You know what I mean? That he's paving his own way, and walking in his faith, and hopefully someone can see what he's done in boxing and be inspired to also, keep walking in theirs.
Well, you have to give credit where credit is due. And like I said, after Saturday, he's a modern day Devin Haney, and
Absolutely.
he's earned it.
I like to
And
hear
now the
that.
comparisons will be to him.
Yes.
Other fighters will be compared to him,
Yes.
as if to say, "Hey, you remind me of the champion Devin Haney."
Yes, sir.
So,
That's the goal.
absolutely. Now, and I'm, I know you just barely got to 140, but I've always said you're going to see the best Devin Haney at 147 pounds and possibly end his career at 154 pounds. I've never seen a man so big at 135s when he was making 135s.
Yeah,
And
it
I
took a
know
lot of
it's step by
sacrifice for
step.
sure.
Absolutely.
But when
And I know it's
when he's
step by step.
right.
No, okay. No, I know it's step by step, but I still think that at 147, he's going to win a bout. I see him winning a bout at 154 and even possibly 160. Sky's the limit for this kid. And it's all about the talent, his jab, and just, I've never seen a fighter so focused. He was watching every single thing before it happened, ready to roll off it, ready to counter, but wasn't afraid to take the initiative with the jab. Was that your game plan going in?
Oh, absolutely. It's something that Devin does, and he. I mean, they say that he has pillow fists, or they say that they're punchers, but you see Devin step to them. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Lomachenko, Linares, Regis Prograis. Like you see Devin, we don't get in the ring and then step backwards. We step to them. So, we make them stand on everything that they're saying. And you see after every fight that they preach a different tune. So, and that's called respect. Respect is in this boxing game, it's earned and it's not given. So we'll continue to earn the respect of our peers, and be happy doing it.
Well, things change from the outside until you get in there with the man. And then you start to realize this guy's a little slicker than before, a little stronger than before, a little faster than before, a little more experienced than before. Now he, at 24, 25 years old, he's setting traps. He looks like the most experienced fighter out there. All these are being said after the fact, but going in, everybody sees exactly this kid. They think that he just boxes from the outside. There's no threat. There's no nothing. I've heard fighters, not just Saturday's fight, other fighters leading up. And at the end of the day, whether they want to or not, but the public itself, it gives respect because they know exactly what's developing. They know exactly what's occurring. It's just like, I'm going to get this player in football, my number one draft pick. Why? Because I know where he's going to go. I know he's going to be a Pro Bowler. I know he's going to possibly be a Hall of Famer. I know he's possibly going to be a Super Bowl champion. And when they see Devin Haney, they don't just see him as a world champion. They see him as a unified and multiple division world champion because of his frame and what he brings to the table. When you hear that as a father, are you more proud to hear it as a father or more proud to hear it as a trainer? Because it's hard to separate the two to make it successful, and it's almost an impossible question to answer. But I'm asking you here on the Fighter's Voice.
No, no, absolutely. It's easy to ask. I mean, it's easy to answer if I can just departmentalize each thing. And like I say, I'm able to, if Devin, to make that transition. If Devin should ask me something, and he asks me, and he needs my perspective as a father, but also you got to understand that with testosterone and tension running and it being a fight game, that it's no room for someone, the dad shit to be around. And I always say the dad stuff, you know what I mean, as a coach. Then I'm
Yeah.
coming in and I'm looking at it strictly as his coach, and getting him the win and not hurt. You know what I'm saying? Not hurt in the process, because when you talk about all the fans and they're screaming and everything is going on, the thing that I concentrate most for all my fighters is that they don't get hurt. That this is sports and entertainment. So through this sport, you want to administer punishment, but you want to try not to get hurt in the process. But that's the trick to it. That's what makes it entertaining, is how can a kid come in here with this guy and just through all this time in front of all them stay laser focused, keep applying punishment and not getting hurt. That's truly what I've learned boxing to be, the science of the sport. And I'm a big and I love to study. I love to study. You know, I study tennis. I study sports in general. You know, and that's always amazing to me. When Devin, when we went to the Chase and we got a chance to go in there, and to casual fans or even to fans in general that's in the sport, right? Or boxers or whatever, right?
Yeah.
That squared circle is not as big as people think. It's not a whole lot of places to run in that. You know what I'm saying? You're running and all that, right? No, it's probably someone in there that doesn't necessarily know how to cut off the ring, and someone that's not using that door to get out to get back on offense, because you can exit the door, but what are you exiting it for? Are you exiting for more defense, exiting for more defense, versus exiting to attack? And I think that what we see in the best jab in the business, because if you have the best jab, you have to be attacking with it. That's the lead. That's the lead. So Devin has the best lead in boxing, which means he has the best attack. It's just that he's attacking the person's weakness. It's like anything else. You know, if you it's almost like, damn, that's too bad. He's attacking the side that the person is defenseless in, but it's a part of the sport. And when you have a high ring IQ, you can attack a person's weaknesses and make them do the stuff. So it's just kind of a hint to the kids that's growing up. You know what I mean? Don't rely on your strengths so much that you become dependent and you think that on that given night that you're going to use your strengths, because you might run into a Devin Haney or Team Haney, and we want you to enforce. We're not going to let you do your strengths. We're going to make you do everything that you don't like to do under the lights on that given night, if that makes sense.
It does. Very well said. What's the biggest fight that needs to be made in the 140-pound division?
Well, I know Teofimo Lopez is a big fight. You know, and I recognize all the other champions there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that would probably be T.O. Ryan Garcia is also a big fight there. That's at 140. It's some big fights to be made at 140.
I'm going to throw some names out there and let me know what you think, if they're on the list or not, because you got to remember, Devin just came off back-to-back rematches, going down to Australia, took care of business, fought Loma, a big fight, and now he fought Regis, a big fight. I know he's probably going to have one fight that's probably where he can breathe a little bit. I'm not saying it's a safe fight or anything, but I can see a big fight, at least two in 2024. But possibly his next fights, and I'm not disrespecting any of the fighters out there. I'm going to throw some names out there, because you got to remember who loves to see the fights. Yeah, I mean, a lot of Mexicanos love to see the fights. And I'm going to throw the name Arnold Barboza out there. What do you think about that matchup? Or also Jose Ramirez?
Oh, terrific team, Arnold Barboza and the Barboza family. Hungry fighter. You see what I'm saying, with a chip on his shoulder, and he's going to be tough. He's no easy out. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think the world of what him and his dad are doing, and I wish them well.
What about Fresno's own Jose Ramirez?
Oh man, you gotta like Jose. You know, I haven't seen him in a while. In the ring, but I bumped into him out and about. He's a real man's man, real family man. And of course, I told him and I promised him if there was ever an opportunity for him and Devin to make an event happen, I wouldn't be the one that would be standing in the way. So he's really a class act. Him and I wish him well as well.
Very, very kind words, man. Class act yourself, Bill. Let's talk about your promotion company. A lot of people don't know that you have some stable of fighters, that you also have your hand in the promotions. Another hat that you're wearing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk a little bit about your promotion company and your partner, of course.
Oh, yeah.
The champion.
Oh, yeah.
Devin Haney.
Devin Haney, he's amazing. He's amazing. One thing that he wants to do is provide an opportunity for other fighters. So we have Maury Jones out of Oakland, California, undefeated fighter. He fought he got a stoppage on Saturday, and we also have Shamar the Boss Canal out of Harlem, New York. So it's just we're growing. We're growing, and those two guys are the guys that have been with us from amateur, and we also advise and manage and help a few other fighters that I don't want to mention, but I'm behind the scenes making some things happen. Then you're gonna hear a little bit more about it as it unfolds.
Well, you know what? I'm looking forward to it because the last time I talked to you in Las Vegas, you said, Richard, let's talk about my promotion company. I got some fighters that are getting ready to make the scene. And I believe one was mentioned today because having a nice stable and having a nice workout partner for Devin, I truly believe iron sharpens iron.
Oh, absolutely. And then for these young guys to get a chance to be up around him and what I tell them all that, I said, still it now. We're not doing it in front of you and telling you for you not to steal it. Still it and keep it. You know what I mean? So that's him. You always see the young guys, he's pulling them along just like the older veteran fighters would pull him along. We remember days running up the mountain with his godfather, Zab Judah. Zab embraced him, in a way that was different than all the other fighters. It was more of an intimate embrace, more of a chance to see, and hear not only the good, but the bad and the ugly of boxing. So, shout out to the Judah family for always being there. Yoel Judah, he's so underrated. He's one of my, I call him Abba because he's a father figure to me as well in boxing. And he always told me to keep some handlebars on the game and keep riding it. You know what I mean? So we I always, have a lot to say about the village, the tribe that has went into the whole DHP. You know what I mean? And that's why I tell you, it's not only just those couple fighters, but I mean, we got our hands in a lot of things, you know what I mean? And some of them aren't just for our benefit, but to benefit others, you know what I mean? And that's why I said I don't care to mention them because it's for them and not for us.
Absolutely. I've mentioned some fighters before in the 140-pound division, so it doesn't necessarily have to be the 140-pound division. Sugar Ray Leonard had Marvin Hagler, had Tommy Hearns, had Roberto Duran. Duran had Marvin Hagler, Tommy Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard, and Tommy Hearns had Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran. Who's Devin's Roberto Duran, Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, and Tommy Hearns?
That's an excellent question. Obviously, you can move them around the way that you want to move them. I would think Tio would be a Roberto Duran. Very good, extremely good, high IQ, but very unpredictable. I think you would call a Tommy Hearns a Javante Davis, a guy with with that ultimate knockout power that's gonna come in there, that's trying to neutralize you, but not extremely high boxing IQ that he shows, because I think he could rely on his big neutralizer, so you don't actually get a chance to see it. probably a haggler would definitely be a Boots Ennis.
That's a good answer.
Just because obviously all the things that Hagler does and presents, and he's able to switch hit like that. Sugar Ray Leonard is Devin.
Yeah, I would say so.
Sugar Ray Leonard being Devin, obviously, because of the hand speed, the foot speed, the inside, and I mean, inside work and outside. And then,
And the mental strength that he has.
yeah, definitely. And yeah, I think that'll be probably about it that I could probably think of.
Well, hey, I hope these fighters feed off each other, because if they do, we're in for one hell of a 2024, 2025. And we can rewrite history, because you always talked about putting Devin's face where it needs to be, exactly on Mount Rushmore with the rest of the greats. So those were the four kings back then. Devin has stepped up and welcomes the challenges at 140, 147 pounds, and is putting his face there on Rushmore.
Mm-hmm.
So, being that said, knowing that the boxing is exciting right now, it's fun to be in the meat division. And when I was talking to Regis Prograis, he said the 140-pound division is the meat division. It's where all the dogs are at right now. Everybody wants a part of it. There are some people that are going to 147, but they're still part of the division. People that are now moving up. How does it feel as a father, as a trainer, as a partner to know Devin Haney is in the hottest division in boxing, bar none, period?
Well, I mean, he was hot. It was 135. He was part of making that division hot. Moving up to 140, he'll make that division hot. And then also moving up to 147 because of, I think that crop and that group of kids also being very exceptional and special. Devin, I think, being young and being the LeBron James of that group, the Kobe Bryant of that group, in the sense of he came right out of high school at 17 years old and went through that border over there in Tijuana and had that match down at the El Perro Salido dog bar, I believe they called it.
Yes.
So it's just Devin is a young veteran fighter right now. You know what I mean? And we expect just big things from him, because one thing I heard someone say earlier today, he's in his young prime.
That's very well said. I like that. I like the way that fits him exactly right now. And some other fighters could also say that too. And Teofimo Lopez, I would agree with that. And knowing that, I've always told, when I was speaking to some of the fighters, I said, look, man, stay away from these youngsters. Stay on that other side where you're at right now, and not to be mean or anything. These guys are lions, and they're built a little different. They're torn from a different cloth.
Yes.
You have some fighters out there that are just different, born with gifts, but at the same time have that heart and tenacity to even further their gifts. God says you use all your gifts, or I'm going to take them away. I believe
Yes.
Devin's using all his gifts.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yes. Yes. I'm a firm believer in that as well.
I'm going to ask you this. What's it like to go shopping with Devin?
I don't do it. It hurts my stomach.
It hurts your stomach?
Hurts my stomach when I see it, because obviously with inflation and all the other stuff that's going on
Yeah.
nowadays, and him being a rock star, the stuff, to be a shirt, and I'm like, ooh, that shirt is very expensive in comparison to when we were growing up. You know what I mean? The things, but my parents said the same thing. You know what I mean? So it's all relative. I take it in stride, but yeah, going shopping with him, he's a very big clothes shopper. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
don't spend too much time in the malls with him.
Well, I wore this throwback shirt on behalf of Devin because I remember he collects the throwbacks, and this one happens to be Oscar De La Hoya,
Oh yeah,
Felix Trinidad.
oh yeah, that's
And these aren't remakes. These are from the '80s. These are from the '90s. These are the real McCoys. I have my box of that. That what I would collect during the years. And
yes,
actually, I called my brother today. He didn't answer, but I was because I gave him a shirt a long time ago. And I said, hey, can you just take a picture of it? Because he won't part of it. He thinks I want it back. I don't want it back. I just want him to take a picture of it. He's listening today, Larry Ortiz. It was a Marvin Hagler and Sugar Ray Leonard. Remember the white shirt where they're looking at each other?
Yeah.
And see, they wouldn't have a stare down before because Sugar Ray Leonard didn't want to have a stare down. So they had to put the faces together like they were really looking at each other.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those were the days, weren't they?
There. But when I see Devin, I'm going to have to open that box because I know he collects and, just hand it over to him because I know he's a collector of those. And I know if he would appreciate it because I seen him wearing bigger ones that fit him big.
Yeah.
And he was telling the reporter, he says, hey, man, I go out there and I buy these authentic shirts.
Yeah, no, for real, he do. That's why I said is sometimes those shirts, they cost so much money different than I'm like that shirt, but he's a collector for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And I like to see you sometime rocking that shirt, man. The fighter's voice, the only voice that matters.
Hey, man,
I'm like,
shout out to the fighter's
simply
voice.
Knocking out the competition. Yes, sir.
Yeah, shout out to the fighter's voice, the voice that matters, the only voice that matters. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Yeah, give me a. Let me see. Get Dev. I need to get Dev one too. I need to get him one. I know you gave me. What'd you give me? A couple, right? You gave me a large.
Yeah, I gave you one for you and Devin.
One for that large and a small for me and Dev. I got you.
Okay, I'm gonna have to hook you up, man.
You got to hook me up though. Still, you know where to see us.
Exactly.
All right.
So, have you had time to take it all in before I let you go? To take it all in, because the numbness is gone, the excitement has to still be tingling.
No.
When you go outside.
No, not at all. I'm just taking a break right now. You know what I mean? I'll get a couple winks in, and I'm gonna be riding high. Devin is the best fighter in the world and on the planet. He has a ring IQ that's second to none. It's different, and you'll see as he continues to grow in the boxing game.
I agree with you, Bill. Otis Griffin, former world champion, told me to tell you hello.
Oh yeah.
Repo Rick from Fresno also told me to tell you hello.
Oh yeah, yes sir. Repo was there in the beginning. That bar in Tijuana. Repo was the man that took us to it. You know what I mean? So, any of the young fighters, if you want to know something about it, and you don't think that you need a guide and you need a tour, man, make sure you tap in with Repo Rick. He's gonna make sure you get it.
Hey, you heard it from the man himself. Bill, I want to thank you for taking the time and sharing your expertise, your knowledge, and just, answering the questions and showing class all the way. And I got to have you back on the show. I mean,
absolutely.
Our platform is your
This won't
platform.
Be the first time this won't be the last time. This is just the first. It won't be the last, man. So keep doing what you're doing, though, my friend. And the fighter's voice, the only voice that matters.
Hey, you heard it from the man himself.
Right.
And as always, I'm here with possibly trainer of the year and also possibly fighter of the year, Bill Haney and Devin Haney. As always, it's a wrap. Thumbs up for Richie.
Okay, fight fans, it's not goodbye, but until next week. Remember, it's always voiceography at its finest. So on behalf of Richard Ortiz, the special guests, saying hasta luego, babies. And always, thanks for listening.